Six special guest, Donald Nunes, is going to discuss the community gardens. Welcome, Donald. Hope you're doing well.
Mr. Mayor, I'll give the preface. Donald is going to give us an overview, and Kasia will just have a couple brief comments because these items he is about to go over are on the agenda for action, but we thought it would be more appropriate to do it early on when people are able to watch, do it cohesively. So if you can hold your questions for when it comes up for items in discussion and we're going to vote on them, I'd appreciate it. But this is a continuation, I'll just tell you, of our very successful garden plot program. The council increased it substantially last year, more than doubled it. It was waiting list only. We've included pictures on our website. It was tremendously successful for our residents. So we've identified 3 additional locations. As you recall, we're currently down by Bigelow. We added one at Lamagna and some at Central Library. We identified 3 more locations because we want to bring this to everywhere in town. One is at Lafayette Park, which is a jewel that has been underused and, sort of fallen into disrepair, and we want to address that and remedy it. This is a beginning step. We also identified at Alcorn for 2 items on the agenda, and also out at Green Manor. So it's very exciting. We'll let Donald give you the overview. I think it's much easier to see when you see the actual diagrams, and then Kasia has a couple words, and we can proceed with the agenda. As I say, it will be on for a vote later on in the agenda.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, Donald Nunes, our Director of Public Works. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me share my screen with you. Everybody good with that? Okay. So like Chris said, we identified 3 locations, and the first one we're going to talk about today is Lafayette Park, which is at the northerly end of Hartford Avenue. So right now, for existing conditions, we have some swings here. We have the existing basketball court, which is in a state of disrepair, and also this portion of a swing, like a playscape, if you will, which is also in really poor shape. So over in this location here, we're proposing 40 planter boxes with 4 compost bins and a tool shed, very similar to the ones we just put in. So in this location here, again, this is Hartford Avenue to the east, Lafayette to the south, and Union Street Extension to the west. This area of Lafayette Park, like Chris says, is a jewel that, again, just kind of fell into disrepair just from either lack of use or trying to get some areas that are usable, such as this area here, which is ideal for the planter boxes. Again, for solar orientation, the sun will rise over this way in the east and set to the west, so we shouldn't have any problems with sun exposure. We have a water feature right here. I'm going to back up one slide. We have this water feature right here, so that saves us the effort of having to bring in water from either Hartford Avenue or any one of the surrounding streets to get into the property, so we already have a bonus there. And we're going to surround it like we typically do with an 8-foot service gate to the shed and a 4-foot pedestrian gate on the southerly side. So over here, we're going to be upgrading something, part of the playscape at some point, but over here with the tent, with the basketball court is really shot. I did some exploratory work out there. We dug to try to find what gravel, try to find what's out there. If we could just peel the blacktop off and repave, it does not look like it is a viable candidate for that. So we're going to have to remove the blacktop, remove the soil that's underneath there, and replace it similar to Brainerd Park. So with that, again, this is a very typical 40-box layout, with the compost boxes that help when people bring other things in there. We actually turn it and do other things, so we can not have to use our own compost, but it actually turns the compost before the end of the year. So that's at Lafayette. And with that, with 44 beds total, the price is about $23,490. That's including the water, running the water line from that fountain to several points inside the park. So having B&G do the work and purchasing all the rest of the needs that goes with it, such as benches and hoses and garbage cans and like, about just say 24,000 for starts. The next one is going to be at Green Manor Park, right across from Nathan Hale School. And this is the picture on the right shows the newer parking lot and the playscape that is just behind the back of this sign here. what we want to do is this is an optimal spot for sun exposure. We should be absolutely no problems with that. We want to put it right here, which is close to the road. I wouldn't say road, close to the walk that goes through and goes to the east. Again, we're going to be putting in 43 planter boxes here and having 3 compost bins on the easterly side with a tool shed, standard surrounding gate around here. We'll have access to an 8-foot gate for the tool shed, and the pedestrian gate would be through here. Now, the water supply, when all this work was done in the past, we had the pool there and other things, those water supply lines were no good. And when Taylor Road was redone and they relayed the water main, they removed all of those previous corporations or water supplies from there. I did speak with Bob Sherwood from Hazardville Water, and he says that we can tap off of the hydrant main that is right here, as long as it's before the gate valve, which it is. We can run a small corporation, a 3/4 inch line like you have at your home. We can tap off it here, then run it, and we'll be all set for there. With 46 boxes here and running the water and also putting in the service in, we're at about $28,828 for Green Manor. And lastly, we're going to be putting one in at Alcorn, to the west of Alcorn. So right here, this is the backside of Alcorn, if you will. And this is the former basketball courts that are now used for parking. So our proposal, again, is to put the planter boxes through this area. And again, here's Infield Street. And again, this is the former basketball court. And this aerial shows that it is striped for parking right now. So we're talking about putting in the planter boxes in this area over here and the newer basketball court over there. So this is the idea for that location that we'd be remodeling, and we'll get to the parking as more of a phased approach later on. If we need parking through here, this is how we would do it, but that's a different project. So we're gonna look into install the 20 beds right through here, a tool shed, and our 3 compost bins. We do have a water supply coming right out of the corner of the building. We'll just have to trench through and get it to there. So we'll have, it'll be some work to get it, but at least we have a supply close by. And on this area here, we would like to, this is probably the best spot and the most prime spot for a new basketball court. Same size as the Brainerd Park one, so a full-size court with a full-size safety area around it. And for these garden beds, for the 20, looking at about $21,000 for Alcorn. Again, the cost for the basketball courts for both of them are in a different thing. This is just these areas here are just for this $73,596 just for construction of the beds themselves. There are a couple more items later on for each of the basketball courts. We were requesting $75,000 to rehabilitate the one at Lafayette and build a brand new one in at Alcorn. So that is what I have.
Thank